Hey everyone, it's Bethany. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, we are celebrating Simon Says Stamp's latest release. This is a really fun little set that they have sent me over. Of course, I don't have everything in the release, so be sure to check out all of the fun things that have just been released on their website. I am excited to show you what I have and what they have sent to me. They did send these to me so that I could create for you and get you inspired with some fun ways that you can use some of their new items. So let's go through what I have, and then we're gonna make 2 cards today using some of these products. Well, actually all of these products. So let's go ahead and take a look. The first thing we have is this Fancy Thanks. Isn't this pretty? This has both an inside and a shadow layer. I actually was playing around with this earlier today. I haven't cut them apart yet, but I was getting an idea for the size and what it was going to kind of look like on what I wanted to do. So this is a fun little wafer die. I love it. The font is super fun. And again, we have the shadow layer as well. So we'll trim these apart in a bit and play around with that. We also have a really fun little sentiment set. This is called Bold Hello. I want to open this up because usually they have a couple different versions in here. And what I mean by versions is usually they have 2 kind of sets. So yes, so you have 2 sheets of each one, just to give you an idea of what sentiments there are. I love this. These are pretty universal, so these are nice and fun, and they're a quick and easy way to add either a sentiment or a sub-sentiment to your cards. Super fun. Okay, so we have those. We also have a really pretty background cling stamp. This is called Peony Background. How pretty is this? And I will definitely be linking everything that you see in this video down in the description box below, so be sure to check over there. And this is really fun to use. I love having stuff like this for my backgrounds. They make creating backgrounds really fun because you can do a variety of techniques and you have a really nice little bold background, or you can kind of tone it down. I think I'm going to do a really kind of neutral background with this, but bring in some color in another way using this. So we'll be playing around with that in just a bit. And then the stamp set that they have is called Caring Thoughts. How sweet. We have some cute little critters. They're all really fun. And then we have a variety of sentiments, which is really fun. We have some miss you, I'm here for you. Some, I really like that we have some encouraging things to add to our cards. Sending caring thoughts, just want you to know I'm always here for you. So we have lots of encouraging. Then we have a happy birthday and a hello, a little bit more universal love and hugs. I love stuff like this. I think it's super fun, and we'll definitely be having fun with this as well. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and set these to the side. I think the first thing that I want to do is let's do the stamp set first. Let's go ahead and play with this first, and then we will play around with the rest of these products for our second card. All right, I thought it would be fun to bring my mini Misty in, and I want to have fun doing a little scrap buster. I always have fun scraps hanging around, and I thought it would be really neat to do a little rainbow of sentiments on this card, because what initially attracted me to this stamp set, now I'll probably come back and circle back and do something with the fun little images, but I'm really encouraged by the sentiments, and I think we could have fun doing a little bit of repetitive stamping and doing a really fun like rainbow look, if you will, with some sentiments. So I really think, looking at them, I am really enjoying this I'm here for you. I think it's fun. All of them are so fun, but let's go ahead and use that. I'm also going to have fun with this little die, this little banner die from Heffy Doodle, and we're going to use that in just a little bit. But let's choose the first color in our rainbow, and I am going to place this in my mini Misty. There we go. And just like that. Okay, I'm gonna put my stamp here. And actually, I'm gonna give myself just a tad more room. Okay, let's close that. Now, I am going to be doing some heat embossing. So what I want to do first is grab my anti-static powder. And I do have some of Simon Says Stamp's new anti-static powder, which I've been using behind the scenes quite a bit. I really, really like it. I've been really successful with it. It's a very nice powder. Okay, I'm gonna grab some Versamark and stamp that down. Okay, that looks really good. I'll go ahead and take this out, set this to the side, because I will be doing some additional stamping with this exact sentiment. I'll bring in my embossing powder, but also my catch paper here. And I'm going to be using a fine detail white embossing powder by Simon Says Stamp. Pour some over my little Versamark. And there we go. Isn't that nice? Okay, brush off that last little piece. Okay, now I'm going to heat this up so I can melt that powder. But first, let me put all my extra right into my jar. Okay, I'm going to let my heat tool heat up and then I'll melt the powder. All right, that looks really nice. And now I am going to grab those little banner dies. They are so fun, and this one actually fits so well. So I'm going to place that right over and trim that out. Okay, so I'm just going to put some tape right on there and we'll cut this out on the Gemini Junior. Okay, there's our last little piece. I'll put the little die away for later. And now I'm going to simply glue all these pieces together, and that will help build some dimension. So finding my glue. Isn't that a pretty color? I think that is so pretty. Oh goodness, now my little glue. Okay, adding a little bit of glue, and I'm going to stack these up. And whoops, a tad too much there, but no worries, it'll dry nice. Okay, stack that up really nice, and then we have a nice thick, once the glue settles, we have a nice thick little banner there. That'll be so, so pretty. Okay, I'm gonna set this under a little brick and just let that settle, just like that. Oops, I need to pinch one more into place. And then I'm going to repeat that same step using the rest of my little colors. So I have all of these colors off to the side here. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to stamp and heat emboss all of these pretty colors. And I'm going to use that same "I'm here for you" because I think that's a really fun little repetitive statement that we could put on a card. All right, let me get doing that and we will continue with our card. Okay, I have these all ready to go, and again, they are all layered 3 high on each one, just like you saw with the first one. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this Fab Floral plate. This is a really fun plate that I like to use. It's just so subtle but pretty, and I'm going to just get the back panel with some really pretty texture. So let me grab some paper, and I'm going to take my plate. I have some 80-pound cardstock here. And I'm just going to nestle it within the plate there, just like that. Okay, that looks good. And then I will grab my cutting plates and send this through my Gemini Junior. Okay, oops, don't need that. Let's place it just like this and send it through. Okay, so there is the final look for my background panel. Isn't that pretty? It's so subtle, but it's there. I'm going to place these to the side, and the next thing I'm going to do is just bring in my mini trimmer, and I'm just going to trim this down. So let's see, I'm going to take about 1/8 of an inch off of each side, just because I want it to be slightly smaller than my card base. I just personally like that look, so let's see. I'm going to bring just a little bit off of there. There we go. And the other side. So now we'll be at, let's see, 4. And finally 5 1/4. Okay, so our final look is going to be let's see, what was it? It's going to be, I'm measuring 4 by 5 1/4. And I think that looks really nice. In fact, I almost didn't get that perfectly on the last one. So I'm just going to line that up once more and get a hair more off. Okay, I like that much better. Okay, so there is my final little look there. Now I'm going to start building this card. Okay, using a piece of 110-pound cardstock, I'm going to make my card base. This is sized at 11 by 4 1/4, and then I'll place my score mark at 5 1/2, which is right at that half of 11. Fold, and then using my bone folder, I'll just press that down. All right, now I have my top folding A2 size card all ready to go. And let's go ahead and attach our really pretty floral background to our card base. Okay, grabbing some foam tape, I'll just place 4 strips along the back. Oops, don't stick to one another. I love the very nice but interesting background that's very neutral that will pair with the very colorful little sentiments that will be all over the front. I think it's super fun. So this is a fun little design idea that you could use with any stamp set you have. Just take a fun, little sentiment that you have that is accompanying your stamp set and just make a little repetitive look with it. I also really like it because sometimes it's nice to look at your stamp set in a fresh new way. Sometimes I feel like we look at stamp sets and only look at the images, but there are so many beautiful little sentiments that accompany them, and they are worth being a shining star and the star of the show every once in a while, right? So that's kind of what I wanted to do here. I wanted to just get you thinking about more than just the images and allow the sentiments to have their turn. Woo! Okay, so my idea here is I just want to do a little repetitive look with these pretty colors. Now, I'm laying them all out because I have to get an idea for spacing here. We're going to have to probably bring them down just a little bit, probably about there. Okay. And, whoa, I think that looks pretty good. So what I think I'll do is go from the bottom up. I think that that will help me. And I'm going to bring in my T-square ruler just to help me out here. So I'm going to get that placed right where the bottom little sentiment banner is. Okay, I'm just going to leave that there. I'm going to bring in another, there we go, just to study that. Okay, that looks good. Now, let's grab glue and some tweezers. So tweezers will be really helpful here when getting this all lined up. Grab the glue. Almost time to order some more glue. It's one of those things that seems like it lasts a long time and then all of a sudden it's gone. So you don't think of it too much, right? At least in my craft room I don't. One of those things that I kind of take for granted and then it starts running out. Okay, there's that. Now, I don't think I'm going to use the T-square ruler, what a tongue twister, T-square ruler, any longer. Now I've kind of set, my level. I've set the little visual line to go by, my little reference point. And now I think I can just visually line these up. I'm confident that we can do this. So do that, place it down, and with liquid glue you can nudge it into place. And I'll just continue doing the final little strips. Okay, I'm laying the last one down. Whoops. There we go. That looks good. And I'll bring my little block right back in. I love that. I think that's so fun. And such a good sentiment, right? So encouraging, supportive. I really like it. Okay, let's go ahead and finish this off with some fun little embellishments. I think that would be really nice. Okay, keeping it neutral here because the focus is the color of the little strips. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these pretty little dewdrop embellishments. They are my favorite. Let me grab my little trinket tray here. There it is. Pour some out. And I love these because they offer so much without being too much. It's really the perfect way to say it. It's just, they offer a little something, but they don't take away from the focus of the card. Okay, let's do something like, let's get the itty bitty. Maybe something like that. Okay, I actually really like that. It's simple and it's what my eye immediately liked. So I'm going to just grab a little bit of glue and plop these down. Okay, and our final tiny dewdrop is down. Isn't that cute? I really like it. I love simplicity on cards, and I think this is really fun. We have a nice simple background that is equally really stunning, and there. It's really, it's quiet but prominent. So I really like that. But we also have the star of the show being the sentiment strips, which is really fun. So I wanted to encourage you to take a look at the sentiments that come with your stamp sets. Those little coordinating sentiments are really fun, and from time to time they should be the little star of your card. Okay, I love this first card. Let's go ahead and play around with the rest of the items that are in Simon Says Stamp's new release, and let's create a second really fun and colorful card. But before I put this to the side, this is why I love gluing and layering paper on paper. Isn't that just pretty? The dimension is just butter smooth. Love it. Okay, to begin card number 2, I'm going to bring in an 80-pound panel of cardstock at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I'm going to trim that down to 4 by 5 1/4. So just taking 1/4 of an inch off each side. It's my preferred dimension for a little card panel. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to have fun with a little bit of color. Now again, this is just regular cardstock. I can leave the colors out here for you. I'll link these paints down below. They are so fun to use. But I have some water set off to the side. I have a little brush. I'm using regular cardstock. You could absolutely use watercolor cardstock, but I feel like this is going to be just fine for what I'm doing. Okay, the first color that I want to do is I'm going to bring in the lemonade. That's where we're going to start. And I'm going to just really wet that down. And I don't want to go all the way to the edge, but I'm going to do something like this. Okay, that looks good. Now the next color I'm going to bring in is rose. This is a really fun, more bold pink. And again, I don't want to go to the edge of the paper. Just kind of want to do a fun little look like that. Okay. A little bit more. And I'm just going to bring in a wet brush now and kind of soften the colors and the transition between the two. Okay, I like how that looks. Next, I'm going to bring in very lightly, if I can, this bumblebee. It's a very bold yellow, though I do like it. I want to keep this pretty soft. Okay, so I'm going to even soften that just a little bit more with some water, I think. Okay, bring some water in, just kind of tone it down. Not that I don't love yellow, but I want something a little softer here. Okay, and again, bringing in just a little water to soften that transition. I might bring just a tad more yellow into that transition spot and get some orange. And I could even come back in with rose. Yeah, I like that. Okay. The next thing I will use in terms of color is Paradise. This is a fun color. Okay. Here we go. In fact, I might need to bring a little bit more of my yellow back. And then I'm going to come up and fix this a little bit. I'm losing a little bit of color, which is just fine. The first pass with color is just kind of setting the tone for where you want everything to go. And then I feel like the second pass is just really bumping up the color. And you'll learn with the paint set that you have which colors come in really bold right away and which colors really need, additional layering. So all are not created equal. Okay, I'm really liking that a lot. I'm going to bring in very lightly, ever so lightly, a little bit of yellow just to kind of extend it there and kind of blend these two together. Okay, and then I'm going to come back to rose. Let's see. And kind of fix that a little bit. There we go. Pretty. Oh, I love it. Now we'll go back to Paradise. Just kind of bump this up a little bit. Water that down just a little bit more and blend that out. And finally, Sea Dream. Did I mention that was the name the first time? Can't remember. Okay, I'm really liking how this is looking. Okay, now, and I love the margin around. Very fun. I am going to grab my heat tool and just set the color and let it all dry so we can move on. Okay, I love that. And you know what I like is I really like this. It's just fun. I love the organic movement of color. I think it's just super fun. It's always an element of surprise. It's something you can't recreate twice because color just does fun things each and every time. So this is completely dry. Now what I'm going to do is bring in that Thanks die and we're gonna have fun. No, that's not what I'm gonna do next. Okay, no, I want to incorporate that pretty background stamp. That's exactly what I want to do. Okay, this is good and dry, so it's ready to go, and let's bring the Misty back in. Okay, so my panel is up here. I'm going to bring in my larger Misty this time because of the size of my cling stamp. I'm going to take my little pad outside of the Misty, and I can remove the magnet as well. Let's open this up and take it out. Okay, so it will have a little liner on the front to remove, and then we're just going to place it this side down in the Misty. And we're doing it a little opposite of how we normally do it. We're going to place it right on this side. Okay, now I'm going to grab some tape, place it on the back of my little panel here. And now I'm just going to place my panel, well, whichever way I want really. It doesn't really matter. Go like this. Okay, just position it where I want it on the stamp. Close the door. And now we'll have our paper over here and our stamp within the MISTI. Okay, I do want to do some heat embossing, though this time I'm going to use some clear embossing powder because I want this to be very, very subtle. Okay, let's use anti-static powder. And I'm just going to place it all over my paper. Again, make sure that your paper is really dry and your design and color is all dry. Okay, placing this all over. We've handled this paper quite a bit. And now I will ink up my stamp with the Versamark. Okay, I think this looks really good. I really want to do this in one pass. So I'm going to grab my stamp pressure tool, close this door, and now we're going to just press down so our paper comes into contact with that stamp, and it'll transfer that design right over to our paper. Now, it's going to be hard for you to see. Hold on. Let me grab, oh, it's so pretty. It's hard for you to see, but you'll see, there you go, our design within the Versamark there. Okay, I'm gonna take the tape off the back. I'm gonna grab a little a clothespin here and place it right there. And now let's get the clear embossing powder. Okay, I have my catch paper once more, but this time I'll use the Fine Detail Clear Embossing Powder by Simon Says Stamp. I will just place that all over my cardstock because my design is all over. So we're just going to cover all of that Versamark. Just let it set for just a second. And then let it fall away. Oh, it's so neat. Do you see? Isn't that cool? It's so fun. Okay, I'm gonna set that to the side for a second. Let's put all of our powder right back into the jar. And then we will heat up our powder. Okay, this is so pretty. This is so me because it's subtle. It is subtle, but it's there, and it's a texture thing, but also I love just the visual interest that offers. Isn't that fun? I love it. It gives kind of a almost wet look to it. It's really pretty. Okay, let's continue. And now what we're going to do is we're going to, actually it's gonna go this way. Yes, we're gonna grab that thanks die and have fun with cutting that right out of the center. And I also want to remember these pretty sentiment strips. So I need to trim the shadow layer away from that inside piece. I also, before I forget, have a little piece there. Okay, now let's see, we'll grab these little snips and snip these apart. Actually, before I snip this completely apart, I am going to actually I'm going to place this down just so that the alignment is really good. I'm going to place this where I want it on my panel, and I'm going to cut that out Yes. That's exactly what I want to do. Cut that out. Okay, I think that looks good. I'm going to tape that down. And then once I do that initial cut, I will continue trimming my little die cut apart. Okay, let me go ahead and remove that. Oh, it's so fun. Okay, now let's pop this out. Gently though. Now I don't need the shadow part, although that would be fun for another project. But I do need the inside piece. How fun would that be for something else? I'm gonna keep that actually. Let me keep that, and then if you follow me over on Instagram, I'm not gonna do it on video, but I'll do something with that and show you what I did as an extra. Just as an extra. Okay, I'm gonna poke out the actual thanks word. And the reason, again, that I didn't trim my die cuts apart is because I just wanted that perfect placement. Because why not, right? I mean, you can always obviously line it up after the fact, but you know, when you can work smarter, then why not? Okay, there is our little thanks. Isn't that fun? I also love that. Although, do I need to keep, do I have my little middle pieces? I think I just need the A. Is it right there? It is. Okay, I'll keep that for another little project. Okay, now I'm just going to, okay, there we go. Now I'm done with my shadow layer, but what I'm going to do next is take some additional cardstock. I think I'll probably just grab some 120-pound cardstock, and I will cut out an additional probably 3. Okay, if you have not yet worked with 120-pound cardstock, oh my goodness, it makes angels sing. It is so wonderful to use. I love it. If I could work with it all the time, I would, but I save it for special occasions or times when I just really want to stack quickly. And for this kind of delicate, not that this is the most delicate that I've ever played with, but I want to kind of do less work for this one. Okay. Ooh, goodness gracious. There we go. Okay, so here is our little die cuts. Now I'm going to stack them up. So I'll get some glue here, and I'll also bring in my little block. Let's grab one that's not so wonky, because we need a good baseline here. And there we go. Let's get this going. Okay. Stack the first one. And there we go. Okay, and our last layer, I think, am I going to do this? I think that's going to be nice. Oh, I think I'm going to. I was kind of starting to think I might do a white sentiment in there. That would kind of be fun, but I think I'm going to go with my original gut and continue this fun rainbow on the inside. Oh, that's pretty. That's really fun. Okay, let me press that down really nice. Now let's let this set and let's build the card. Okay, so many fun things on the craft table here. Now I'm going to build up my card base, and I'm going to do an A2 size card, but I have a piece of cardstock here at 8.5 by 5.5. And if I can find my little score tool, which, oh my goodness, the card making has very much gotten to be a mess this evening. I might have to try to score with this. I'm gonna do 4 1/4. Can I do this? Okay, I did 4 1/4. Oh, that little folder is going to be around here somewhere. Okay, and now I have my A2 size card at 5.5 by 4.25. Okay, opening up my card base. Let's simplify a couple things here. And I have foam tape on the back of my panel, which is going to help kind of flatten that out a little bit from all the fun that we had. Layer upon layer of fun there. Watercoloring, heat embossing. This panel's like, whew, you're making me work for it. Okay, let's get this all within a view here. And center and lay down. Ooh, and then it really just flattens out so beautifully. Okay, and then I'm going to place this little chunky goodness right in the center there. Oh, isn't that fun? I think that's so fun and colorful. Okay, so let's grab glue. We'll add a couple fun dewdrops just to keep it fun, and then I'll show you this hidden surprise of that fun background. I think you can see it pretty good, but it's going to be one of those that the movement is going to make the card. Not that this card's going to sit dancing on someone's counter, but when the recipient brings it out of the envelope and is kind of just really interacting with the card, it's going to be really pretty. Okay. And nestle that in there. Oh, that's so fun. Kind of bring, just kind of manipulate it into place there. I think that's good. I like it. Okay, so, oops, hold on. There we go. Okay, I'm going to press that down. Very nice. It's so fun, so simple, but I don't know, there's something about it that's really, I don't know, becoming, you know, what I always say, it's becoming one of my favorite cards. Okay, now, hold on. That's way too cute. I'm going to bring in some more. I'm always looking for one size, you know, don't we all? 1, 2, and, okay, final little shine down. And that is way too cute. I really like that. This was a fun one. So fun. But again, you really get an idea for, look at that. It's just glossy and fun. And it's an element of surprise. It's like a subtle, I don't know, like a little supporting actor. But can't you just in person, I mean, you can't because you're not in person right now, but the recipient is just going to think that is so cool. At least I hope so. Okay, so that is our second card. Okay, so 2 new fun and very colorful cards. I think these are just so happy and colorful. I love it. And both created with new products from Simon Says Stamp. Again, be sure to check the description box below this video to see any of the items that I used. And also, I would love if you would give this a thumbs up if you enjoyed watching or if you were inspired in any way. Be sure to also head on over to Simon Says Stamp and check out all of the beautiful things that they have included in this release. They always have such fun things, and I am loving that I can be a part of helping encourage others to craft with a lot of their fun little goodies. It's just so fun. All right, everyone, let me know down in the comment section which was your favorite, and I will continue crafting with you in the next video. Oh my goodness, I totally forgot about my little sub-sentiment with these beautiful sentiment strips. So what I did was I went through, I found one that I really liked. I used my paper trimmer to trim it down, and I really love just the little look that that gives. I love the teeny tiny little letters, but I also really love the contrast of just that little sub-sentiment and how that looks on the card. So almost forgot, but the last second, I went ahead and added that, and I just wanted to show you before I ended this video. All right, everyone, I will see you in the next video. Have fun creating.